Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. My life is Mel. So if you're familiar with my previous videos, you would know that my channel name has changed, and that's just because I'm in a different headspace. I'm gearing my channel more towards an everyday look of my life, personal growth, bettering myself, that type of thing. So that's what that's about. This video is going to be on a position that I interviewed for today, and it was with CapTel. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the interview process and give you some words of encouragement. But before that, a quick recap for people who just want to know what I'm doing. I am still working at Amazon. The only difference is that I'm no longer with the temp agency. I actually work for Amazon. Amazon, I still don't have a problem with Amazon. It's just that for a couple of things, I was doing Amazon. I was working full-time night shift. And at the same time, I was a full-time student with day classes, and I couldn't find a job in Clemson, so I was driving back and forth every weekend to work at Amazon. So that itself just put a toll on my body, like just to work a semester and a half during the school year at Amazon full time. That just took all of my energy, and it's just too much. It's just too much, and I don't want to put that much time working at Amazon while I'm in school. I just feel that it makes you too tired. It's hard to focus, or whatever the case may be. Not only that, but Amazon was just supposed to be a temporary thing. My goal was never to settle for Amazon. I'm looking for a job that's going to better me as a person, gain new skills, and that's going to improve my resume. And with me being in school and going to have to be in school for no more than 2 years, I just didn't want to have Amazon on my resume for the job that I've done for 3.5 years or so. So that is my whole reason for applying for another job. So the company that I applied for was CapTel. I found it on Indeed. So the position that I have is a captioning assistant position. And what it is, well, CapTel is a communication service for the deaf. So basically, a deaf person will have a phone, and it's the phone, and then it's the keypad, and then it has a screen. So basically, the deaf person would place a call, and then I'm connected to the call, and whatever the hearing person is saying, I say what that hearing person is saying verbatim through voice recognition software, and what I say appears in text so the deaf person can hear it. A couple of highlights about the position. It might be different in other cities, but it pays $12.50. They hire for part-time and full-time. In order to be considered full-time, all you have to do is work a minimum of 30 hours. You get benefits after 90 days. And to be part-time, there is no minimum. So you could work as least bit of hours you want to work. So now about the interview process. I tried to play in my mind what I thought the interview process was going to be like, but it was nothing like that. So when you apply, they give you a link to where you can practice your typing and your typing speed. And I did that, and I did perfect. 60 or 70 words per minute, 0 errors. But let me just tell you, that does not prepare you for the interview process to complete the assessments. So there are 5 assessments. You have 2 parts to the interview. So the first part is the assessments, and then the last part is the Q&A. I came in a dress. It was a nice business casual dress. I did bring a copy of my resume. First assessment that I did it was like a paragraph. It was probably about, I would say, 5 to 7 sentences. You had to read it. And basically, they just graded you on your pronunciation, fluency, you slur your words, is your speech muffled? Like, they just want to hear you talk and make sure that you're pronouncing the words correctly, clearly, and, it flows. Because you are speaking into voice recognition software, so it's important for your speech to be clear. So she told me before I did that, it's no rush. You don't have to speed through it. I tripped up on one word, but that was easy. The second part of the interview was the voicing. She demonstrated the voicing first. So it was a recording, and the person was talking, and she was saying what they were saying. So basically, as soon as you hear a word, you say that word. You don't wait until they say about 3 words and then try to say something. As soon as you hear a word, you say a word. If you skip out on a word, let that word go. Let it drop. Because if you try to backtrack and figure out what word was said or catch up when you're already behind, then you're going to be more behind and you're going to drop more words. So that's more errors. So she demonstrated the recording, and then I did 2 practice recordings. I aced the practice recordings. Like, I was just like, I'm good. Like, I'm going to be good at this. But the practice recordings were slower. Like, they weren't so slow, but it was like casual conversation. I have my basketball game tomorrow. Did you want to come? It's at 6 o'clock. Are you going to be late? Like, it was that type of tone. But then you got to the other recording, it was a little bit too fast. And it got to the point where I was getting a little bit frustrated. And basically with the practice, I was talking normal. And then when it got to the part where I was actually doing my assessment and I was trying to catch up, like, I was speaking louder. Like, I feel that I was too loud. It was very frustrating. But basically, like, the whole key was for me to get through the recording. And it just, I kind of got worse and worse and worse after she kept on replaying it. And it's to the point where I would drop like 10 words or a whole sentence because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, where am I? It's challenging, but don't stress about it. You're going to get practice before you actually do the actual test. So that was the second part. The third part was a sheet of paper, and it was about 3 paragraphs. You listened to a recording, and you went through the paper, and you marked out what words didn't exist. So if the recording said this, but on your paper it said that, then you will cross out that because the correct word that was supposed to be in the document is this. So basically what that's doing is just making sure that you actually listen. You know what I'm saying? Because not only that, but that ties into the whole verbatim thing. You can't take what the speaker is saying and then paraphrase it or put it in your own words or mix this with that. That's the purpose of that assessment, to make sure you have good listening skills. The fourth part was typing. A person is talking and you get to pause. It's like this button that you push with your foot. You get to pause the recording and you type. But your goal is to type as the person is talking. So when the person is talking, you're typing, but then when you feel like it's getting a little bit ahead, you pause it and you finish your sentence. The fifth part was a spelling test. And to be honest, not a lot of people know how to spell. Like, I even catch myself texting sometimes. I'm like, darn, what's the right way to spell this word? So the spelling test, it was probably 10 to 15 words. Some stuff you should know how to spell, but there were words that they thrown in there that they're not everyday words, so you wouldn't know how to spell it. So yeah, that was all the assessments. The only stressful thing, or the only one that I had real difficulty with, was the voicing one. But I feel that as long as you can type, I feel like typing is the most important because you're typing throughout the whole interview process. So you have to be a really good typer. If you're not good at typing, like, I'm talking about actual keyboarding skills, like, some people type like this. If you're one of those typers, I don't think it's going to work. But if you have keyboarding skills and you type like this, then you should be fine. The question and answer process, part 2 of the interview. I want to say she asked 6 questions. It was just behavioral questions. It was honestly, it's nothing to be nervous about, because I've been through interviews that were a lot more tedious than that. So it's why you want to work here, why should we hire you, behavioral questions, experience. Nothing you should be worried about. As long as you're good with typing, you would do good in the interview. As far as the voice recognition software, not too many people are going to be good with that. I feel like that is a skill that you have to work towards. But On a side note, this job is also similar to court reporting. Maybe if you're somebody who's interested in court reporting or may think that you want to be a court reporter, I feel that this is a good job to try to figure out if court reporting will be good for you, just because you are using voice recognition software and having to say stuff verbatim. So if you're into court reporting or you're trying to get practice in that, or you think that's something that you might do, I feel like this would be a good start for you. One of the most important things is that no call is going to be the same, because at first I was thinking that it was just going to be one-on-one calls, so it would just be a hearing person and a deaf person. This could be courtroom, this could be meetings, this could be something with 3 people, 4 people, whatever the case may be. So that right there was like, oh my goodness, like I thought I was just gonna have to talk between 2 people. So in some situations it could be more than 2 people. That's kind of scary. The calls are confidential, and I'm pretty sure you have to sign something. The calls are confidential, and she did say that I might have to say things that are sexually explicit. Whatever the phone conversation is, you're gonna have to say whatever is on the phone call, whether it's sexually explicit, cussing, racist. That's what she said. You might have to repeat back racist comments. So for this job, being in your feelings or having personal beliefs or whatever case may be, all of that is gonna have to be put aside for this job. Training is 4 weeks, and they offer 2 types of classes: day class and evening class. And I start training in September. That's the month that they're shooting for. So I did get the job. Basically, I got the job, but I have to do a background check. I have to make sure my background check comes back. I have to do a drug test, and they're going to call my references. But if everything clears out, which it is because I have no criminal history, then I got the job. If it feels good to get something different or get a job that you feel is going to better yourself or that you feel is important. So I'm just really excited, and I know this is just the beginning, and me doing the assessments is not, it's not giving me a real idea of what the job is actually going to be like. I won't know more until I do training, and I know it's going to be a lot of work. I know it's going to be hard, but I'm just ready for it. Like, I'm just ready to try something different. And even though it's challenging, I'm just ready. Like, I'm just so ready for it. When I do training, I'll come back and tell you what that's like and all of that good stuff. And one more thing, it is casual. I'm not sure. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. It is casual dress. Some people might be like, okay, well, can you wear this? Can you do that? Online, I read that you could come in pajamas. I'm not going to ask that question because I personally wouldn't do that. But even though it says casual, I'm not sure. It didn't say business casual. It just said a casual work environment. But me personally, I'm not going to come in there any type of way. I'm not going to come in there like I would Amazon. But I would have a professional appearance about me, even while being casual. Another thing. So they do raises twice a year, every 6 months. They did ask if I could do training without missing any days. So keep that in mind. I was only interviewed by one person. I think that's it. So if you're interested in the CapTel position, definitely apply. Good luck to you. Don't stress. Subscribe for more videos. Like, comment. Thank you.